It is really interesting. So, Sydney Sweeney, I'm sure I don't need to tell y'all who that is, but she has just done probably one of the most interesting marketing techniques I or anyone else has ever seen.
Sydney Sweeney selling her bathwater?
Craziest experience ever.
Yeah, the star is teaming up with a soap brand to infuse what they're calling a touch of Sydney's bathtub drippings into bars of soap fans can buy.
Yeah, so a lot of people compared this to when Belle Delphine did this back in 2019. The difference between the two is that while Belle Delphine was like doing, it was like to promote, well, actually, it wasn't even to promote her OnlyFans at the time, but she was selling it on her own personal website. She wasn't a part of any like partnership. Dr. Squatch is a very like, well, it's not as recognizable as like Dove or Old Spice, but it is still up there with like a very recognizable brand of cleaning, of like body care, I guess is the term for it. So the fact that they have partnered with Sydney Sweeney to release a new like scent that is infused with her bath water, like that's crazy. And I'm sure I don't need to remind people that the reason why Belle Delphine's like fell into controversy was because there were like reports of people getting like HIV or something. I'm trying to remember. Hang on. Was Belle Delphine's bath water contain HIV or something along the lines? Herpes, that's what it was. Some people claim to have gotten herpes after buying her bath water. Now, while it was just the raw bath water with Belle Delphine, it could happen, if you use the essence in a bar of soap or body wash. I'm just saying, crazier things have happened.
It's definitely fun. I
Yo.
enjoy.
It's kind of giving her Euphoria co-star Jacob Elordi in Saltburn.
Okay, I'm
Which,
not really familiar with that. But, you know, 20 years ago, this would have been absolutely frowned upon. This would have been seen as weird. But now it's just kind of become the normal, I guess, when it comes to these, like, marketing stunts. I've never used Dr. Squatch, so I don't really care either way. But if there is like an outbreak of some kind of sexually transmitted disease, at least, well, the very first thing I would tell people who reports of having it, I would say, well, do you use Dr. Squatch? And then I'll hit them with the question, did you buy Sydney Sweeney's bath soap? Or did you buy the soap that contains Sydney Sweeney's bath water? I'm just fumbling with my words. But yeah. So Gwen Stefani sang about bathing in it, and now it's become a thing. Thanks to one euphoric actress. Yeah. And that's the thing. You could throw out like the craziest ideas, and there will always be somebody who like takes you on that offer. Like, does anybody remember the John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic? That was just like a fan service, and it happened. Of course, that one is still like, would be like a much more appreciated if they actually went somewhere with. I don't know anybody that's going to be like dying for Sydney Sweeney's like brand of soap, like from Dr. Squatch. It just seems like it's going to serve as a meme and then immediately die off afterwards. The product push comes after Sweeney's now viral ad for Dr. Squatch's natural body wash last October, which featured her in a bubble bath addressing dirty little boys. Yeah, and I have that right here. Well, right here is the cinematic trailer.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body?
No.
Wash? Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys. It's for men. Hello, you...
Wow, and they... Well, I mean, to be fair, it is on the platform formerly known as Twitter, but they cut off before you get to the punchline. Yeah, that was her trailer. I don't know why it needed to get re-uploaded, but It's now available. Hang on. I think these are two different ones. Introducing Sydney Sweeney's Bathwater Blast. Man, I am just slurring. Ah, allergy season, man. It's causing me to fumble my words. Alright. Introducing Sydney's Bathwater Bliss. In collaboration with Sydney Sweeney's, we've created a limited edition soap infused with her actual bathwater. Why? Because y'all wouldn't stop asking. And Sydney said, let's do it. And then in parentheses, they got, what a legend. Yeah, people wouldn't stop asking. As a joke. But if this doesn't flop harder than any Magikarp, if this isn't like a Concord level like failure, then I feel like there will at least be some kind of controversy. Because again, we have like we have history of like people doing other stuff and it always just goes tits up. So, yeah, Sydney Sweeney's teamed up with Dr. Squatch to release Bathwater Bliss, a limited run of 5,000 soap bars, each certified to have been made using water she personally bathed in. Okay, so now we know how many bars there are. So if there is an epidemic of like thousands of people, like suddenly getting herpes, HIV, some kind of sexually transmitted disease, we'll at least know it's in like this ballpark of product. And then we'll ask them, did you purchase Dr. Squatch? And then we'll add more. Did you as a gooner buy Sydney's Bathwater Bliss? Like, I don't think you need to get Sherlock Holmes on the case to start connecting the dots if something like this happens. But again, who am I to say this? Maybe it will just be like a regular bar of soap. I doubt it. But, it is just a really interesting marketing. That's all I can say. It's just very interesting. Because usually the norm back in the day was to just, they'd have these celebrities make a scent or flavor. This one, like, wanted to infuse herself into it by using her bathwater. And it's just, that's crazy to me. It's not crazy in this day and age. It is kind of become a norm, but it's still just, I would not do it.